Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kaleidoscope of the Arts. I'm one of your hosts, Marie LaBrosse. And Didi, you're muted. Yeah, Didi.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can. Now I can.
Sorry, Marie. This is Didi Gozion.
Okay, Didi Gozion is the Executive Director of the Northport Arts Center. And we also want to thank our sponsor, which without any of the sponsors that anybody has for any events or things that you do, Wendy Namack Portfolio Investment Professionals, LLC. You can reach her at www.namack.com. Her phone number is 941-429-2911, or email Wendy at Namack, NAMACK.com. Thank you guys all so much for coming on and listening to us today. And one of the reasons that we're here today and why you're here as our audience is we're excited, Didi, and there's a lot of things happening at the Northport Arts Center. And let's go over just really briefly, because I want to get to our guests, because I know that their time is very, very valuable. I know Doug LeClaire is on the road, so we have to make sure that we get him up here so we can get him off. So what's happening at that Northport Arts Center? And I muted you. Boy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. We have receiving for our November show, Wet and Wild. The reception will be November 19th at 6:30, so the public is welcome. We also have a very special reception on Veterans Day, and it is The Art of War with Sergeant Philip Moore. The public is invited. It's 6:30 on November 11th. And then I also just want to bring up that we have our event, Kaleidoscope of the Arts, here in the plantation, highlighting all the arts that are available in the city of Northport. Wonderful dinner, and we're looking to have a big crowd. So thank you, Marie.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, let's move on right away, Didi, because I'm really, really excited to bring on our guest for this time. And welcome to the stage there, Doug.
Hi, Doug.
Hi, Doug. And Doug, you are the director of the Asbury short film, right?
Correct.
The short film concert series, but also the short film festival that you take around the country. So as we're talking about that, tell me how you got started in that. It's 40 years now.
Yeah, I was 4. No, I'm kidding. There was a group of us that were film students at a small commuter college on Long Island in New York Institute of Technology. And a couple of years after we were extracted from there, we decided that there were these great college films being made all over the place, and no one was seeing them outside their own college campuses. So we decided to start a public event, which at that time we called the Asbury Film Festival, once a year, where we would show Long Island area student films, but to the public outside of the campuses. And, there was only really at that time film festivals that were showing short films, independently produced short films nationally. So we just felt the need once a year, because we had lives and we were getting into the industry ourselves, that we would get together, choose these films, and go to a venue, and 2 or 3 days we'd show them publicly. And that just morphed into each year the films getting better, coming in from around the world eventually. And 8 years in, we moved the show from Long Island to Manhattan. And I guess one of the prouder moments or accomplishments I can say is that Asbury Shorts USA, our company now, has become New York City's longest running short film exhibition, which is, for us, we're never into the pat on the back thing, but that's one thing we like to acknowledge.
That's amazing. In 40 years, Doug.
Yeah.
Are the same people along the journey with you?
Some of them are, yeah. In fact, when we go to certain cities, we'll reunite with some of them, and a couple longtime founders, Ray Preziosi and Michael Sanchez. All of us have worked in the television advertising or television production world all those years as well, but we all still, when we can, be together at the show, especially our flagship show, which is held in Manhattan every November, except last year and this year. And we hope that the flagship show is going to be held in the spring of 2022. And that's when we see most of the folks who were there at the beginning.
Well, where do you get all these short films? It's your short film festival, but what's the process that they get submitted to you?
Well, in growing over the years and getting a reputation, especially in New York City and then moving out to other cities, we are pursued by filmmakers who have new short films and want to get them into our lineup and for our audiences. Back in the day, we would put out a call for entries in the trades. We'd put out a call for entries in local newspapers. Now, with a little bit of a staff, we will pursue award-winning shorts from actual film festivals across the country, around the world, and try to bring the audience favorite award winners to our show, because we've found, as we go from city to city year after year, or new venues, new theaters, the audiences really like to kick back and for 2 hours see a combination of comedy, drama, and animated shorts that we select and kind of program, because we know our audiences. Our mission, Marie, is really this. We want to bring globally honored short films from any year, past and present, to audiences that are comprised of folks who rarely, or if ever, go to film festivals or even think about short films in their daily lives. It might be you're a ticket holder to an Asbury Short Film Show, whether it's Punta Gorda or Dallas or Maine. And the night before, you may not have seen a short film in your life. And we're going to show you a dozen that have achieved top honors around the world. And that's what makes us happy. And hopefully the audience enjoys the programming.
Absolutely. And I've been to your short film festivals, and I would have never attended. Around here, we do have the Sarasota Film Festival, and we have some south of us, but I've never attended one. And this really gives a person that lives in our area an opportunity to go to a film festival. And with that being said, I want to bring up the person that actually puts that together in the Punta Gorda area. And here she is, our Miss Nanette Leonard. Hi, Nan.
Hi, Marie. How are you?
Good. And Nan, why did you get involved in this?
Doug paid me like $15 million. No, it's just kidding.
It's a cashier's check, by the way.
Doug and I worked together in New Jersey at another film festival, and he called me up when he knew I was moving here, and he said, "How do you think this is going to play in Punta Gorda, Florida?" And I said, "Let's give it a shot." And at the time, I ran it by John Wright, the president of the Punta Gorda Chamber, and he thought it was a great idea. So the Punta Gorda Short Film Festival was born, and that was 2015. So that was almost 8 years ago.
It's been that long.
Yes.
I've
really embraced the idea of what we do, which is non-competitive. We actually, Asbury left the festival world probably about 21 years ago to become a roving entertainment event. And that's why we call it a concert. Theater owners have embraced that. But Nan's one of Nan's many brilliant moves, as she mentioned, the Chamber of Commerce. And we were just approached and said by the Chamber of Commerce people, we think it might do better if we call it the Punta Gorda Short Film Festival as opposed to the Asbury Short Film Concert. And I was on board totally because these folks know the territory. Nan was behind it. And as long as Asbury gets a little credit somewhere, because we do have folks that work hard to negotiate with filmmakers and all that, we're very happy. And this thing has exploded.
Absolutely. Nan, I have you muted there. Go ahead.
I will tell you that the first year we did this, we were at the Charlotte Harbor Event and Conference Center, and we had I had 268 seats and 470 some odd people showed up. We were sold out, overbooked, standing room only, and we have sold out every single year prior to the event date. And now almost 1,000 people come each year to see the show, which is just, they've embraced it. And it's so gratifying to Doug and to myself that they've embraced it like this. So we're very, very honored.
Well, one of the things too, I'm muting her because Casey in the background is barking a little. For people to realize too, when you're talking about the film festival, I personally go every year. And one of the years I couldn't go because she was sold out. And I didn't want to pull my friendship on her. so I didn't go that year. And then last year I didn't go to the drive-in because I hadn't been vaccinated, I don't think, at that time, or I was just waiting for my second one. And I think I might have had vertigo. But it is a wonderful, wonderful a type of venue to go to. It really is. For those of you out there that have never been to a film festival, and especially a short film festival, you don't get bored, do you, Nan?
Me? No, you don't get bored because there are some shorts are 3 minutes, some are 15, which Doug would be one of the longest ones we would show. And you're constantly laughing. Some are more poignant, tug at your heartstrings, but it's just an eclectic, wonderful group of national and international award-winning shorts, and even we've had some Oscar winners as well. So like Dear Basketball, that won the Oscar a few years ago, that was produced and directed by Kobe Bryant.
Oh, absolutely. And it was so, I love your short film festival. I was the first one that bought tickets to this one. I was, what Nan said. She sent out a blast, and I said, I'm not missing this. I know how many seats are in the auditorium, and I am not missing this one. I'm going to bring up on in a few minutes, up on the screen, how you can buy tickets. I'm getting some feedback here. Doug, let's talk to you a bit here. Now, your relationship with Nan was a personal and a business one over the years up in New York City. No, Nan, I'm not going down that road. I can see her eyes like, oh no, I have you muted too. But one of the things is, in that industry, it's pretty small, actually. When you get into the industry, you get to know a lot of people in that industry, don't you, Doug?
Oh, yeah, for sure. My background was 30 to 35 years in TV commercial production. And the best thing about the industry that you can say is the relationships. It becomes family. You recommend people that you work with for years. They recommend you. You are together for a short amount of time with no sleep for hours and hours on end. And if you don't build friendly relationships, it's over. So yeah, it's a huge industry, but it is a small family. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that Nan and Dee Dee and myself, we've all been in where people do business with people that they know and trust. And it doesn't matter what industry, what business you're in. I just like pushing that home to people that's how you can't, when Nan said, yeah, we can have this happen here, and Doug, you're going, it's small town USA. Can we make it work? I'm sure that you were delightfully surprised how well it was received.
Blow me away. I mean, I had no idea. I hadn't even heard of the town before. So, was we had started a year earlier with a successful show on the other side of the state, the Vero Beach Museum of Art, which we also do every year. And we'd been to all these other cities prior to that. But the picture that Nan painted at the time, like she mentioned, we both were connected in a way to a pretty major film festival in New Jersey. And I saw the job that she had done there, plus knowing her background after we talked. And then, I felt threatened. No, I mean, I felt it was, I had no idea what I was getting into, but when I saw the building and the response, and look, Nan, I couldn't work with a better person. Tireless effort.
Right back at you.
No matter the size of the event or whatever, you have to get the word out. You have to get support, and that's what's happened over these past 8 years. And so what we're bringing in November is sort of a retro best of Asbury Shorts. So the show in November is an Asbury anniversary show, 40th anniversary. And then when March rolls around, we'll be back to a new slate with the Punta Gorda Short Film Festival. So even if folks come to the show at the Gulf Theater who've been to the Punta Gorda Short Film Festival, I think I've put together a lineup of films they've seen, plus a few new ones, but ones they've loved and should see again. That's the beauty of short films, is you see it a second and third time and you always pick something up,
Well, I'm putting up on the screen where to go buy your tickets, and I'll actually put it in my comments here. In fact, we're getting comments from different people here that they're saying hello, bravo. But you go to the Gulf Theater. In fact, I'll put it up for people in a minute. gulftheater.org. And you actually go to the Military Heritage Museum website, Heritage Freedom Isn't Free, I think is how it goes. And then look for the Gulf Theater. You click on that, and then you can, if you see here, the Gulf Theater here that shows up, it'll give you what is available for shows. And actually, I'll click on the one, and I'm actually having okay. If you see here, it shows the Gulf Theater at the Military Heritage Museum. You click up here for Gulf Theater's tickets. I'm taking you guys all the way through this. And the one that you want to look for is the Asbury Shorts USA 40th anniversary show. And you're going to see the event. And you see it's on, let's let the audience know. It's on Friday, a Friday night, November 12th. And what time does it start? Miss Nanette Leonard. And I probably...
She's muted.
Yeah, well, that's Nan. What time does it start?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. And when should people get there?
Oh, probably at 6.
At 6. Because they'll probably have a bar open, right?
Not quite sure they're going to do that, but after the show, we're going over to the captain's table, and we're hoping that people will join us over there. I apologize for my dog; he's not happy.
Yeah.
And we're going to be headed over there after the show. And Doug is going to be emceeing it. He's going to be telling lots of wonderful stories and over the last 40 years, right? Mr.
Yeah.
LeClaire?
As we go along, there'll be little things I'll add along the way. Like I said, it's going to be a mix of past favorites that we notice the audience has at the event center when we do the show. Plus, I've thrown in a couple that go back a whole bunch of years that we haven't shown in Punta Gorda. So it's a mix of comedy and some drama. There's some macabre stuff, which is really cool. That makes me happy. I won't expand on that, but it's a really cool mix, I think, and fast-paced as usual. We're going to present 2 acts with an intermission, and yours truly will be on the stage.
Well, and we're grateful for that, Doug, because you're not bad to look at either.
Yes. One of those comments was my parole officer there. I don't know, Maria.
Well, and when you're talking about that, for the people, when Naaman's talking about to go to the captain's table, if you've never been to Fisherman's Village in Punta Gorda, it's a lovely place to go to. It has a lot of eclectic type shops there, but at the end, up on the top, and it has a beautiful view of Charlotte Harbor Bay. You can see out there. That's where it's going to be if you've not been to the captain's table there. And Nan, when we're talking about different things, let's talk about sponsors.
Oh, bless your heart, because if it wasn't for them, we couldn't do this show, whether it's our Punta Gorda Short Film Festival or it's this very special 40th anniversary of Asbury Shorts USA. So I'd love to acknowledge our sponsors for this show. Wait, I'm sorry. Just showing my age. Charlotte Players, Estate Guardian Management Services, Friendly Floors, Glass Duchess Studios, Parkinson's Disease Treatment Center of Southwest Florida, and the Wyvern Hotel. So we're very, very grateful to all of these companies for supporting us, and even this one show, this special show, because in March, on March 2nd, which is the first Wednesday of the month, we will hopefully be back at the event, Charlotte Harbor Event and Conference Center, and not having to worry about the wind or a blow-up screen.
Right, when you did the drive-in part. Now, Dee Dee, I think I unmuted you, but Dee Dee, let's talk a little bit about sponsors, because we know that we need to have sponsors for anything that we do.
Anything else. As a nonprofit, it is very imperative we're supported by our community, so we can provide our services for our art center, provide services for all kind of people, and whether it be children or grown adults or retired people, and sponsorships help us survive.
Right, absolutely. Dee Dee, another thing too, are there any questions here that you'd like to ask that I haven't?
No, I've never been there. I'm looking forward to it, actually. It sounds pretty exciting. I never even knew about it before, so I'm really thrilled.
Yeah, and tickets are only $25, and it's going $25. And this is where you can buy them, purchase them at gulftheater.org. And with that, Nan, what else do you have to say about that?
Well, you've said it all. Just a minor correction. If you go to the Military Heritage Museum, the tickets will be $20. If you do it online, they have the normal fee built into that for processing the tickets. So, but we're the folks at the museum, Isaac James, who is the manager for the Gulf Theater, has been incredibly wonderful to us, and his staff has been great, and we're just really looking forward to doing this special show there. And I saw a few folks yesterday, and they're really looking forward to it. They can't wait for it. So it's important that everybody support their community of arts. I know that I support the symphony. I'm ticket holder, and all of my friends are getting excited about going back to the theater for the symphony. And we have to be there for each other. It was a tough couple of years, you know.
Absolutely. And Nan, just wait.
What?
I have to physically go into the Military Heritage Museum to get those tickets for $20, and you'll save $5 doing it that way.
If you
And wait, wait, there's more. If you've never been to the Military Heritage Museum, you must go. It's a state of the art type of a museum. It's helping support the military people. You get to see all types of exhibits there, starting from the Revolutionary War all the way up to the latest Iraq War, which reminds me, the art of war is from a Iraq veteran that is putting that together at the art center. So it's so important that we recognize the people and the military for everything that they've done, because freedom isn't free.
And they've done a phenomenal job. They haven't been in there very, very long. And they have simulators on the second floor. They have a library. It's really an amazing place to visit. So it's very educational. They have a helicopter that's now on their property, which is they've done an amazing job. So good kudos to them.
And it's not too far
No.
from the Fisherman's Village, where the after party will be.
Right.
So let's get into the nitty gritty about Doug. Okay, Doug, this is your time to shine. Now, Doug,
Impossible.
you're on the road a lot, and I do know that you're married.
Yes.
Does the wife ever come along?
No, that would be impossible. No, I mean it's no, she's been a very big supporter over the years, but she is and during the time of the pandemic, it's very tough. She's a midwife and delivers babies.
Really?
So she's had a very busy schedule over the last 2 years. The pandemic didn't stop her, but her patients, the change was they delivered most of the babies at home, because the patients did not, or the moms and the husbands did not, or vice versa, did not want to go to hospitals during the height of the pandemic, which is understandable. So, but the family is supportive. My two sons have followed me into the industry. One works in TV commercial production. The other is an independent filmmaker. So I didn't go along with either of them in their high school years, so I just don't understand that at all. But I'm very proud of them. So that's cool.
Well, one of the things too is when you're a parent, your children do watch and emulate sometimes what you do, good or bad. And one of the things that we talked off air that I knew that you had done is you're a history buff.
Kind of, yeah, sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that you like to do is study history about the different historic buildings that were, maybe considered bars or those type of things in New York City and around the country. Could you tell me a little bit about this interest and what you did with this interest?
Well, when I first started in the industry in production, eventually I did the latter thing: production assistant, production manager, line producer, all of that, mostly television, broadcast, advertising in the New York area. There would be long days, short days, longer days, and you end up with your crew in a tavern in Manhattan or a bar. And you'd want to take care of the people who work long hours with you. So I seem to gravitate towards the historic. I'm a buff of New York City history, so taverns are a big part of that. So places like the White Horse Tavern or Finelli's Tavern or the Ear Inn. And so what happened eventually was I just grabbed a group of friends, and one weekend you contact the places ahead of time, just say, can I bring a bunch of people? We just want to show the place. And it's amazing what has survived over the many years, despite a city that is in transition all the time, and what the pandemic did to the city, which was brutal. But still, there is the Old Town Bar. There's Francis Tavern. They're still there. Pete's Tavern over in been around since the 1860s or what have you. And it's just cool to go and have a pint or meet friends or have a meeting in a place that, O. Henry wrote, or Hemingway was there, or something like that, and the walls and the atmosphere. And so that's the fun part of it. And that's where my interest is there.
Well, what is your favorite tavern to imbibe in and take your followers to?
The Burger Bar. Punta Gorda.
Yeah, that too. The Burger Bar is great.
Well, if you're talking about New York, it is the Old Town Bar, which is 18th Street between Broadway and Park. If you come up, and if you remember a television show called Spin City on ABC some years back, they always showed the front of the Old Town Bar. It's probably been used on Letterman a bunch of times or whatever. Tremendous, wonderful neon sign. It goes back to the 1860s, and it's as vibrant and popular today with the millennials as it was with the Gaslight era days, So it's really cool that it sits there in the middle of the block. And what's better is it survived what went on last year, which is not the case for a lot of places, especially those that could not build outdoor setups for their restaurant. If you were a restaurant or a tavern and you were surrounded by a bus lane, you're probably closed now. We lost a few thousand.
Oh, Nan, what was your favorite place?
Oh dear, I didn't really hang out too much because I still lived in New Jersey. So I came into the city around 6:37, and I didn't get home until 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night, and needed to commute. So I wasn't able to do that. But the city's an incredible place. I grew up there. Used to go to concerts in Central Park, and it went to the theater all the time. So I do miss that living here now. But there are lots of things out here that I'm very, very grateful for. So
absolutely.
A lot of times when people hear about our show over the many years, they think we're from the Jersey Shore.
Right.
And we have to tell folks, no, we were founded on Long Island, and we don't know Southside Johnny and Bruce Springsteen personally. But I will say that I love Asbury Park, New Jersey, and that's where Nan and I first met, because that's where the Garden State Film Festival takes place. And that's a city that's had a tremendous turnaround from its historical background on the Jersey Shore to its down years to where it is now, where it's back to being hugely popular. So even though it's not where we're from, we still love Asbury Park, New Jersey.
Well, who's going to be in town with you, Doug, when you're here in Punta Gorda?
I'm just coming down by myself. I'll be there.
Okay, Rick's not going to be with you.
Rick, not this time. No, Rick is actually helping me with two other shows. One that's been postponed because the building construction. That was our first time ever. We were going to be in Omaha, Nebraska, the Benson Theater. So that's being rerouted, and we'll have a new date for that on the website in the future. And then also Rick helps me with the Vero Beach show, and a new client. Actually, we're going into our fourth year also on the east side, the Museum of Arts and Sciences in Daytona Beach. We'll be doing our fourth year there in February. So Rick will be a big part of that.
And explain to our audience who we're talking about, Rick.
Rick Spencer is a business partner of mine with Asbury Shorts USA. He's based in the Orlando area. Has worked at Universal probably on and off for like 25 years, and brought a jolt of energy into Asbury Shorts USA, introduced us to one of our major sponsors, which is Mannheim Steamroller. You may have heard the famous Christmas music and orchestra. So Rick's been a really big part of the last few years of Asbury Shorts USA.
Yeah, and he's a very kind man. With that being said, I'm going to unmute Nan now. I just want to make sure our listening audience is aware that you're listening to WKDW 97.5 FM Rural Community Radio out of Northport, Florida, and you're listening to Marie LaBrosse, your host, and Dee Dee Gozion, your other co-host, and Doug LeClaire, who is the director of the Asbury Film Concert Series and other things, and then Nanette Leonard, who is the Punta Gorda Film Festival. So, did I get that all right, guys?
Good enough.
Good enough. Okay. Good enough. So, Doug, let's go back to a little bit more about you. Now, as you're going around the country, and how are people really receiving this, depending on the city? Do you see a difference in the different culture of people? Or what type of an audience are you seeing there?
Yeah, in a few different cities, we have different reactions to the show. We have embraced the fact, I would say, over the past 20 years, our main audience is a demographic of, say, age 50 to 85, roughly, 90 sometimes and over. So, and I think it's because a lot of these folks grew up not knowing what short films were. And once they come to the show, I think Nan would back me up on this, the reaction to a lineup that we bring into a new city is usually met with great enthusiasm. And people don't want to leave at the end. They stick around. They want to hear more. They want to know more. We don't do a Q&A at Asbury Shorts, but I will say this for the November 12th show, when we go to the after show gathering, I'm always available if people have questions who come to that. I really love to talk about short films. So, but you know, it's Los Angeles is a little bit different of a crowd when we do the show there. We have a great relationship with a theater in Maine. We're going back to 1 week after the Punta Gorda show will be our 11th year at this Performing Arts Center in Freiburg, Maine. It's really what the filmmakers are trying to do has been embraced by these audiences. And what that is seeing these stories on a big screen that take place less than 15 minutes. These filmmakers have a very tough job. They have to enthrall you in 7 minutes, 15, 20, whatever it is, beginning, middle, and end. But they don't have the luxury of a feature film that can be 88 minutes, 2 hours, and you can go have a sandwich or come back and grab a soda and still can continue the story. With a short film, if you miss one little thing, you might miss the thrust of the whole film. It's a really tough job for these filmmakers. So I think, instances wherever we go, they don't love all the films. If our goal is if we have 10 films and you like 6, we've done our job. And it's all about the story and the embracing of the story and the ending of the film. We think we do a good job.
One of the things that I go crazy about when I do any event that I'm working on is tech. And I know that each city that you go into, you're using dealing with different tech people, correct?
Yes, it's called aging.
And that's where I age too. When I'm doing an event, if the tech isn't right, it really drives, it can be a failure in your presentation of what you're trying to achieve.
It's not so much the expertise, Maria. I will tell you that for me personally, because I am not tech savvy, I've gained a lot over 40 years. I know how this runs, and we've had to modernize as you go along. But for me, things start out really great. The technical team or the projectionist simply has a welcoming attitude. Hey, we'll work with you. We kind of understand what you want to do. Can you tell us a little bit more? How can we make it easier for you? That's really the step number one for me. And most of the time, 95% of the time, I work with great people. every once in a while, it will be sort of a, well, we've never done this before. I don't get it. What is the purpose? This isn't something we're set up for. That's really rare. Most of the time, we work with great people. Now, for the Punta Gorda Festival, we have a tremendous team we work with from Harman Audiovisual out of Fort Myers, I think.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And there's never been a setback. And every year they've been so accommodating. And if there's a glitch or something, it's amended right away. And they want to work with you. And that's, like I said, we have that mostly 95% of the time wherever we go.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, and just for the audience to know, if you ever go to an event and the sound quality isn't quite what you expect it to do, it's normally the tech stuff that's going on. And everybody tries to rectify that before you come into the room, but sometimes things happen. Right, Nan?
Yeah. I'll tell you, the advantage of having a great producer like Nan on board is the fact that you can go through Act 1 and then there'll be folks going to intermission and Nan will hear what's going on and she'll come back to me with notes. Or during the show, she'll come back to the tech table and say, I think you need to lower the volume a little, or, hey, it's going great, which we really want to hear. But it's that team effort that makes the whole effort work really well. I don't have that in every city. Sometimes it's just myself and the tech team from that theater. And we rely on running up and down tech stairs at my age all the time, back and forth to hear the sound go back up, But yeah, it's cool. It's like
Marie, I just interject. I wanted to bring something up. Doug, can you talk about some of the celebrities that have been affiliated with Asbury Shorts over the years, like Edie Falco, or some of the others that live in and around major cities like New York and LA?
Yeah, sure. There's been some folks that have really supported what we do, and I really think they're supporting the world of short film and short filmmakers because these independent filmmakers who make shorts, they've spent so much money and so much time, and the reward is really only a screening. So for us, the support, especially the Manhattan show, has come from actors like Peter Gallagher and Harvey Keitel, directors like Frank Oz and Bob Balaban, and Melvin Van Peebles, who just passed away this year. It was Maria. I have to tell you, if you I don't know if you have a moment, when he hosted our Manhattan show, he was 70 at the time, in top shape, but he came to the show a little inebriated. Directors Guild Theater in Manhattan, sold out show, 435 people, and did a great first act. He came back for Act 2, and the first act he introduced the films, but he was also flirting with women in the front row from the podium. And in Act 2 starts, he decides to, before he goes back to the script, he throws his shirt off and he starts doing push-ups on the stage just to impress the women in the front row. But this is what makes, we love this at Asbury Shorts. We love stuff like that. So there's been Tom Schiller from Saturday Night Live and, Edie Falco, Olympia Dukakis, tremendous host. So we've been very lucky over the years to have that kind of support. And of course, that helps us at the company when we pursue new venues and sponsors to throw those names out. Jason Reitman's been a big supporter of our show over the years. We've shown his films. He's come to New York twice for our show. So
yeah, that's amazing. That is amazing. Nan, I'm glad that you brought that up because people have to know that you're just not a small town. Starting out in Manhattan and in Asbury, New Jersey, and that you're not a small town. But for people to realize that when they're coming to the venues and seeing things, these are venues that very well-known people are involved in over the years, and they have a lot of respect for what you're doing out there.
I think it's the explosion of the independent film world back in the late 90s into the 2000s, where the respect for independent filmmakers was heightened by the awards ceremonies, the development of the Spirit Awards and the Indie Film Awards. That was mainly for feature films, of course, but because, over the years, especially when the Academy Awards Oscar celebration was popular, the shorts awards would come up and you'd always hear the cliche that, time to go to the kitchen and get a sandwich, or time to go and get a snack. Nobody knows these films. Nobody knows the titles of short films. But over time, since then, around the world, short film,
Yeah, I'm having a little delay in your. Is everybody else having that delay? And Doug's.
He was frozen for a while.
Yeah.
Am I here now?
Yeah,
Yes.
you're here. You're here back now. Doug.
Yeah, Marie and Dee Dee, I don't see you, but
Here we are.
there you are.
There we are. Here we are.
Anyway, I think the celebrities embrace the fact that these filmmakers are from the independent world and they just wanted to support their work.
And
Yeah.
each year we have a spotlight filmmaker if we can get them. And this past year we had a young girl who was 16 years old. Her name is Caitlin Carey, and she's made 15 films, and she's 16 years old. And she was wonderful. Her film was adorable, and we've had that the last few years that we've done the show. So it's nice to give somebody a leg up and introduce them to. And have people applaud. And Doug will tell you that he takes a bow at the end. Why don't you take it from there, Doug? You take a bow for all the filmmakers?
Oh, yeah, because, most of these venues, Marie, we can't fly the filmmakers in. We just don't have the budget for it. And so we've started this thing about 9-10 years ago where when I go up to thank, or my partner goes up to thank the sponsors and the venue, we'll ask the audience to respond to me taking a bow for the filmmakers who were not there for their hard work. So much love their film or not, but the respect for the hard work. And 10 out of 10 times the audience explodes with applause because they're applauding the struggles that these filmmakers took to complete this film, that the film they saw that night. So.
Doug, have you seen a different way of filming now too, because of smartphones and different technology? Is filming? What are you seeing?
Well, it's everywhere in the industry. The digital world exploded, of course, some years back, but now there are filmmakers who are making really incredible stuff, coming up with amazing projects of all genres where you can shoot on your iPhone. You still need a good editor. You need a good post-production team. But from the standpoint of production, the crew size is now smaller. The apparatus from the high Alexa cameras, which are the best digital out there, down to the iPhone. The technology is outstanding today. Incredible. Just incredible.
Well, that is so amazing. Doug, our time is up already. Yeah, and it's been such a pleasure to see you again. And for everybody out there that is listening, I would like to remind you how to go buy tickets. If you go to the Military Heritage Museum, which is 900 West Marion Avenue in Punta Gorda, and it's if you ever go to Fisherman's Village, it's on your way. It's that great big building on stilts there to go there. You can get your tickets for $20 if you want to go online. You can go to thegulftheater.org and you can purchase your tickets. The purchase price, if you buy with your credit card online, will be $25. It's $20 for the ticket, and the Gulf Theater org He has a $5 processing fee for it. So do yourself a favor, walk into the Military Heritage Museum, save $5, go see the museum. That's a way to do that if you want to save money. I will be at that event on November 12th. You'll get to meet Doug LeClaire here. You'll get to meet Nanette Leonard, and hopefully Dee Dee will be coming too. And you'll get to meet her. Thank you guys so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having us, Marie.
Thanks,
We
Marie.
really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you so much.
and to all of our audience, thank you so much for tuning in with us today. Remember, you do have choices in life, to be kind or not to be kind. Make a good choice and at least be kind. We can have differences of opinions, but if we're kind to each other, and that's all that we can ask for, right, Nan?
So true, just like you.
Yeah. Well, just like you. Nan's a lovely, lovely person. Thank you guys all so much.
Okay.
This is
Thank
Marie
you.
LaBrosse.
Thank you, Marie.
See you
And
for 12.
yeah, and Dee Dee.
Thank you.
Gozion, host of Kaleidoscope of the Arts. See you again next week on WKDW 97.5 FM Real Community Radio. Doug LeClaire. Oh, and